Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Mafex Magneto, the original comic version according to the packaging. And a lot of you guys have been asking me to review this since it came out. It's been a while. I wasn't sure I was going to get it, but I put in a call, not literally, but figuratively speaking, I put in a call to Big Bad Toy Store, and they have them in stock. So here's a review sample. I'm going to review it for you guys. It is in stock right now at Big Bad Toy Store. I'll put a link in the description below if you decide to get one. It'd be great if you went that route. If not, then hey, that's okay. My review is going to be as objective as I can possibly make it, as I always do, regardless of who sends a review sample of what. So, let's go ahead and get this guy off the stand and take a closer look. Okay, before we get into the figure, I do want to show you my package. It's a very nice package. I like this one a bunch. I like this light background with the darker trim and the photos and things and images and whatnot. It looks really good. I'm pleased with it. Unfortunately, the thing is, like, this artwork right here is so damn good. There's not going to be a figure, I think, that can live up to it, and it's just never good to put them right next to each other like that. It looks too good. It makes the figure look bad and soft. But you do get some nice images here and there. It's not bad by any means, just that artwork is iconic. It's classic. You can't match it quite right, so that's unfortunate for them, but nothing they could really do about it, I guess. Okay, let's get that out of the way. Let's look at the figure. I know some of you have already noticed one thing that's going to bother me about this, but we'll get to that. This guy stands just about 6.5 inches to the top of his melon. That's going to be roughly 16.5 centimeters, give or take. Here he is up against a Marvel Legends Darwin. Definitely reasonably scaled enough to go with Marvel Legends. Definitely too small for Marvel Select. And I don't know why you would want to do this, but it's still going to be too small for McFarlane Toys. Okay, so the reason I didn't want to get this guy is because up to this point, I have not yet been able to purchase a Magneto that had the appropriate amount of girth. They never make him quite as muscular as I want him to be based on the Jim Lee artwork, which, if you ask me, is the only Magneto that should ever have existed. It's just so perfect. I didn't think this guy looked like he had enough meat to him. Mafex tends to make their figures skinny. I just didn't want to bother, and everybody kept saying, oh, but it's the best one ever. It's so good. So I figured, okay, fine, what the heck, maybe it is. And I have to say, I am pleased about one thing. He's much meatier than I thought he would be. He still has the weird Mafex proportions with the really long lower legs, but he does have some chunk to his chest. I like that. His shoulders are fairly broad. I like that. I like that his head isn't too big with the helmet on. It looks good. Here's what I don't like, what I absolutely hate, and I didn't even think this was going to be a thing based on their promo photos. The solicitation photos did not make it look like his cape was this incredibly massive, and it is ridiculously, like, almost to Spawn levels of massive. And I know Magneto has had some decently large capes in the comics occasionally for like certain panels or something, but this is a bit much. And I wouldn't care other than for the fact that if you want to bunch it up over his shoulders and hang it down behind him, it gets to be a lot. It is massive. The metallic purple, I guess, is okay, though I think this looks better. The non-metallic side looks better to me. So there's that, but it's just so much cape and you can't do anything with it. It's connected to him permanently. So you're stuck spending most of your time handling the figure trying to manipulate this cape in a way that isn't a total pain in the rear. And so that is a problem for me. Now, you can do it, I imagine. I haven't yet achieved success, but I imagine you can get it out of the way enough and fold it up enough that it's not super obvious. But on camera it looks okay, but it's still, there's still so much material here, and I haven't even done a good job with it. It's going to be a pain in the butt. It might be doable, but it's a pain in the butt. But let's set that aside and move on with the rest of the aesthetic and see what we think. I love the proportioning from there up. I think that looks really good. I still just need them to make, these thighs are way too short compared to the lower legs. The proportioning is really weird on the legs, but I love that he does have that much broader chest. I was really worried about that, and I liked it. I like that a whole bunch. There is some shading throughout the red on him, though it's very, very minor, and he is kind of shiny. So I don't know how you guys feel about that. I don't think his red should be shiny. I'd be good with that being satin or matte and the rest being shiny and metallic, but I don't know. Let me know what you think. But we do have a good paint job here and here. It's not perfect. It's probably better than most Mafex figures, but it's not great. This isn't, by the way, the head that comes on him in the package. He comes with the unmasked head, or unhelmeted head. But I wanted to show you this one, because this I think is the one probably most people are going to be using as their primary. It still has that relatively soft cartoonish look to it, but the helmet is done well, the paint's clean, and the face is painted clean underneath. The hair sticking out and the back looks decent, so that's fine, and you'll see the other heads as we go in the accessory section. So yeah, it's a Mafex figure through and through. Minimal paint, not the best paint, and a relatively soft sculpt, but still somehow really appealing. There's something they do. I don't know exactly what it is. I like them. I know not everybody does, but let me know what you guys think about that, because they definitely have softer sculpts. Like, you don't see the 0% body fat sort of situation going on. They all look slightly doughy, even when they're the trimmer figures. So let me know what you think. But yeah, I think it looks good overall. Once you can deal with that cape, I would give this guy an 8.5. I'm going to go 7.5 though, because that cape is just truly unruly. It is a pain in the butt, and I haven't been able to make it look the way I want it to look yet, and I've been messing with it for a little bit. So be aware of the cape situation. Now, as far as accessories go, I told you we have the unhelmeted head. That looks pretty good. It's a softer, cartoonish look, but they did a really good job with the sculpt and paint. I like it. You get a helmet for him to hold. You don't put that on his head, by the way, and that's nicely done. And then you do get this special helmet with the solid black face with the white eyes. I would have liked to see it just be black over the eyes and then the face showing. I don't really like the all black face. Let me know what you guys think about that. Okay, so decent enough head spread though. That's pretty good. For hands, you get a decent variety of hands. Nothing crazy, because he doesn't do much with his hands other than like make gestures. So I think that's fine. Speaking of, you get two hands that have these weird like spiky things that are meant to look like magnetic powers. And I like that. I'll take that. That's fine. You get two just energy bloom type things. Like, they look like fireballs, but they're not because he's magnetic. But those just go over his fists. Those look good. And then you get these ones that look kind of like Havoc or Avalanche is shooting something out of his hands. And I'll take that. It's a more magnetic power, and that's fine by me. So that's a good spread of accessories. No stand. I thought, does Mafex not include stands? I know Revoltech does. I thought Mafex did. Is there a stand in the box? Am I going crazy? Did I get shorted a stand? Is there supposed to be a stand? Oh, it's in there. I am going crazy, and he does get a stand. Okay, so I'm gonna go 9 out of 10 for accessories. How long have I been doing reviews? Okay, 9 out of 10 for accessories. That is a good spread. Let's see if he can pose. Not that he really needs to. Like, Magneto really just needs to stand still and raise one arm. That's all he needs to do. I'm sure he'll be able to do that, but that's not going to be enough to get him a good rating. All right, so one thing I have to note is I still am not a fan of these. Come on. These angled ball pegs. It's just moderately useful in one direction and then less useful in the other direction, so I don't like it. And to twist them around is a royal pain in the butt. Mine came this way, leaning forward. I don't know. I'm not going to need him to lean excessively far in any direction, so I'm just going to leave it, but it does get kind of annoying. But yeah, you've got ball pegs for the neck and head, so his head will move around just fine. That's going to be the pose right there. Down and to the side while he's levitating with one hand out. That's the one. He nailed it. All right, cape is wired all the way along the perimeter. It is connected here, but there's just so damn much material that it's hard for it to hold itself up here. So yeah, you're gonna really have to spend some time with this thing and fold up a bunch of extra material to hide it, unless you just want cape everywhere, and maybe you do, in which case you win, you hit the jackpot. Shoulders are on the standard butterfly type joint that just moves all the way around. Good hinge. Yeah, I'm guessing this guy's going to pose far better than you're really going to need Magneto to pose, which is good. All right, bicep swivel is stuck. There we go. Yep, works no problem once it's unstuck. He's a little chunky, but he still has a decent bend in the elbow. I'll take it. Yeah, there's one thing good about Mafex is they tend to be pretty smooth posers. Let's see about the torso. Forward and back is decent on that ball peg. Could be a double. Side to side is decent. Rotation, not great, but it's okay. He does have a floaty belt that seems to be connected in the back, but it does want to keep lifting up over the purple trunks right here, which is driving me nuts. And I think since he's not going to be doing any crouching poses anyway, I'm going to glue that sucker down right there, probably. But you do get another ball peg down here to help him move around. Doesn't achieve a ton of extra range, but you get rotation and some leaning. Better forward and back than side to side for sure. So not bad. For the hips, we do still have the drop downs. I would just honestly stuff them up there to make them look good. and never use them again. But you can pull them down, which obviously looks goofy because you get these big gaps over here, and they don't really help. He still can't bring his legs out to the side very far. The drop downs are never meant to help that, so don't worry about that. But let's see if he can kick forward using the drop downs. Yeah, still not really. Like, yeah, their hips, the Mafex hips are by far the worst hips of the good companies that do like really good articulation. They're still blow. They're still using drop downs and they still don't get good range. And the bicep swivel, good gracious. The thigh swivel is in there, which is a fine idea, but you need to have room for the hips to move, and they still don't. The legs are still kind of skinny. This guy would be so much better with a different set of thighs to make him a little bit longer. I guess lower legs too, because they're too long, and a little bit of meat, and we'd be there. But he's got some really weird looking legs, if you ask me. Really weird. I shouldn't say really weird, but pretty weird. Okay, so the hips are not great. Double jointed knees, decent range, but you can see, again, how much longer the lower legs are than the upper legs, and that's not how it should be. You really want to aim for, on average, this whole chunk right here being the same length as this whole chunk, including the foot. And they are not even close to that. They are like 2 feet extra. 2 of his foot thicknesses, I mean, not 2 feet as in 12 inches. So yeah, the proportions are weird. Knee bend is fine. Ankles are on ball hinges, which work no problem, and they give you perfect range. That's all fine. Toe hinge is loose, but acceptable. Not the best design, but whatever. So yeah, his articulation is acceptable. It's not the best thing Mafex has ever put out. His hips are particularly bad. Torso works, arms work, legs work. I'll take it. I'll give him a 7 out of 10, or yeah, 7 out of 10 for Mafex. Having to pose around this giant monstrous cape and having bad hips and the other issues are annoying, but he'll be fine. Like a 7 out of 10 for Mafex is still solid. God, this cape is so much cape. Okay, so time for the final verdict on this guy. Am I happy to have it finally? Yes. If I knew it was like this, I probably would have bought it sooner. That cape is not working for me. I'm gonna I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I don't like the cape. But I am pleased with the rest of it. As an overall package, it's not like I'm thrilled with it. There are definitely some issues that are just really bugging me. But it is a solid Magneto. Is it the best Magneto that's been released? Yeah, probably, because Hasbro keeps making garbage ones, so it's kind of not worth saying. But yeah, it's probably the best. Does it still have lots of flaws? Maybe not a lot, but a decent amount. I don't know. I like it. I'm going to recommend it. I'm going to give it an overall rating. Accessories are good. Everything's good except posing's not good. I'll go 8.5 out of 10. It's not by far my favorite Mafex figure at all. But if you are collecting Mafex, you're going to be used to a lot of the problems, and you can probably manage the cape somehow. So yeah, I like it. It's not perfect. I'm not as thrilled with it as some people are, but I think it's a solid pickup. If you're looking for a good Magneto, this is probably your best bet, and it is a solid release. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.